and a golf tournament at the Harry Hall AIC, the old Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference golf tournament up in Conway. Had a fun time doing that. And do want to let all our listeners know that we are starting I call it a new feature, new series, or whatever we want to call it. Brian and I have talked a little bit about this and said, you know what, our state has 52 wonderful state parks. And so between now and the first of the year, each week we're going to feature a state park. And so we are delighted to have in studio with us tonight Sam Files. And we're starting with the state park right here close to home, Pinnacle Mountain State Park. Sam, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You've been in the park system a little while now.
Yes, sir. About 8 years.
Yep. And you are the interpreter and the interpreter for Pinnacle Mountain State Park.
I'm one of. Yes, sir. There's a crew of us out there, a whole team. But I'm part of that unit out there. Yes,
so
sir.
What is an interpreter? What does that mean?
As a park interpreter, it's my job to connect visitors and guests with our resources in the park. So I'm interpreting the resources to guests. I'm helping protect and preserve those resources. Anything to do with public outreach, events, programming, that all falls under our interpretive team.
Now, Pinnacle Mountain is one of the most visited state parks in Arkansas?
It is. Yes, sir. Us and Patty Jean, I'm not quite sure which one's ahead, but we're pretty close when it comes to visitation numbers. Yes, sir.
And everybody knows about Pinnacle Mountain, and I'm sure zoo and people know about the state park. You all have so many great features out there.
Yeah, we do. I'm a biased source, of course, but there's a lot of beautiful trails in the park. A lot of people do know us just for Pinnacle Mountain, the tallest peak in our park, but we do have multiple other mountains. We've got 30 miles of trails in the park, lots to do, lots to see.
30 miles. I did not realize that.
Mm-hmm.
As I understand it, the trail system there eventually is intended to connect with the Ouachita National Trail. Is that right?
Oh, that's correct. Actually, the eastern terminus of the Ouachita Trail is in Pinnacle Mountain State Park currently, but right now we're working on connecting all of the public land there in the Maumelle Pinnacles range together. So we're eventually going to connect in multiple ways, not just via the Ouachita Trail, but in other ways to Central Arkansas Waters Land and to Rattlesnake Ridge, things like that, the public land next to us, adjacent to us.
Tell us about your background and where did you grow up? What got you interested in this type of profession, and how did you get into it?
Yeah, I grew up here in Sherwood, shout out, and I've just always loved the outdoors. I've always had a passion for the outdoors and a passion for education and for preservation, conservation, both. So I went to school at Arkansas Tech in Russellville, went there for 4 years, got a degree in Parks and Recreation, and an associate's in history, and then I've worked for Arkansas State Parks ever since.
Everybody wants to know about the volcano, that's not from here.
Oh, no.
And I do. I've always wondered, how did we get such a distinctive mountain in this state? Because it's definitely one that's got its own, you know it when you see it.
Yeah, so the mountain formed by plates pushing together and crinkling the earth upwards. So the Maumelle Pinnacles Range is all an upheaval process in this rock. So it's not due to volcanic activity. I know it looks like it, especially on a nice day when you've got some clouds behind it. You look going over the 430 bridge and you're like, wait a second.
Right.
But it's not. It's an upheaval, and actually we even have a trail in the park named Upheaval after that geologic process. But Pinnacle Mountain, while it's the tallest of those peaks, we used to have multiple other peaks in the park that were nearly, if not as tall, that were cut off at the top during the mining processes, the rock quarry processes in the turn of the century and up through the 50s.
So that's what happened, is the top of it got lopped off?
Yeah.
What were they mining?
Sandstone, Jack Fork sandstone, and shale.
Is that why you got that big cascade of rock that goes down that whole slope of the mountain there?
Some of that's natural, most of that's natural. Really, where you see those processes the most are in the easternmost mountains of our park, up by the old visitor center, the Riverview Center now, and in the East Quarry. You can see where those mining operations took place firsthand. And they used that rock to build the dam at Lake Maumelle. They used it to build riprap to prevent erosion when they were building the channel system for the Arkansas River. A couple of buildings and structures, roads in Arkansas or in the Little Rock area.
So I know when visitors come, they register with you guys. What's maybe the furthest somebody's come and visit Pinnacle State Park?
All over the world. We have visitors. I was talking to some folks in the visitor center just last month that were visiting from Turkey.
Wow.
We've had folks from, I mean, all over the world, really.
It's my understanding that the Ouachitas actually, during that upheaval process, were once the southernmost swing of the southern Appalachian Mountains, and as that process occurred, they swung over on an axis and uplifted the Ozark Plateau up, and that that's the only major mountain range in America that runs east to west, and there are plant and animal species that exist in the Ouachitas that only exist, in the Carolinas and Virginia and Georgia. Is that have y'all heard that too?
I haven't. That's the first time I've heard of it connecting to the Appalachians, but I'm not the most familiar with the geology throughout the rest of the state. So I know what processes formed my park, but I don't necessarily know all of the history of the Ouachitas and how those came to be.
All right, if I come visit Pinnacle Mountain State Park, what are some of the, I call them critters, some of the animals wildlife I might see?
Lately, I've been seeing fox in the evening around the day use areas, gray fox. You could see deer. There's a beautiful herd of deer that hang out in the park, big buck. So if you like deer, come and drive through the park for a little bit. You'll see some. One of our trails is named the Kingfisher Trail after kingfishers, a type of bird that live in our banks there along the Little Maumelle River. I saw one of those just yesterday while walking the trail. But there's hundreds of species to discover while out in the park.
Also, really good canoeing and kayaking and fishing opportunities right there.
Absolutely. Yep.
If you were to put in, right there at the main parking lot, on Highway 300, you got that really good boat ramp there. If you were to put a canoe in, how far down can you go, or how far up?
Upstream, not very far, just about 100 yards, really is where it stops being floatable.
Right.
But downstream, you've got 12 miles to the Arkansas River. It spits into the Arkansas at the 430 bridge there at River Mountain Park.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't want to go that far, halfway you have the Ranch Northwoods Preserve, which is a nature conservancy property, and they've got boat launches there that you could pull in and then shuttle back.
You ever taken that? Have you ever done any of that float?
Yeah, we actually lead guided kayak and canoe floats on the river. You can sign up for those when we have them. You can check the website, and we usually have a pretty full registration, and we'll take you down the river and have a picnic lunch, have fun.
It is the coolest thing to be out there on the Little Maumelle, and you're 10 minutes away from that scrum on Highway 10 and all that, all that going on. And you don't have to go too far where you think you're in the middle of nowhere out here. It's the most peaceful thing. There's no noise. There's never anybody there. Now you've got some homes kind of being built up in there, but it used to be one of the, with the cypress trees and the tupelo trees and all that, it used to be one of the wildest experiences you could have.
I'd say it still is. It is beautiful out there, breathtaking. And every time you see it, it looks different. You can go any time of the year and have a completely different experience.
You do know there are people envious of your job.
All I have to say to them is, come on.
And let me tell you what, I don't know who hired you, and I know you've been around for a while now, but your enthusiasm is fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I love this job. I love this career. I love our state parks, and it's an honor for me to be able to serve them.
The park speaks the language of nature, and he is the interpreter for the rest of the world.
And we're coming up on, is it 10 minutes or 9:30?
It's coming right up.
Coming up.
3 seconds, 2, 1, go.
All right, we are visiting with Sam Files from Pinnacle Mountain State Park. He is the interpreter, and we'll visit more with him when we come back. Back in a moment. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in Central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
You've waited long enough, y'all. Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union Summer Auto Loan Special is rolling full speed ahead, but I'm telling you, it ain't going to last much longer. Ultra-low rates starting at 1.99%, no payments for 90 days, and up to 84 months to finance. New, used, or refinanced 2023, 24, and 25 models all qualify. But the clock's ticking. This thing shuts down August 30th, so don't let it pass you by. Head to alcoacommunityfcu.org and step into the future with Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union, serving 15 counties in Central Arkansas.
BKC Home Builders are the premier home builders, providing custom builds and remodels. No matter what size your dream is, BKC will walk you through all the phases, from house plans to landscaping, to make your custom home as beautiful as you imagine. The team at BKC will be with you through the entire process. If you're looking for commercial building or remodeling, BKC has your commercial needs covered as well. BKCHomebuilders.com or find them on Facebook. That's BKC Home Builders in Hot Springs.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. Welcome back to Rick Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, coming to you live from our Honda of North Little Rock studios, visiting a dynamic young man, Sam Files, Pinnacle Mountain State Park, who is the interpreter. We're starting a series here weekly, featuring some of our 52 state parks. We're going to do that all the way through the end of the year. And so, Sam, as you look, being here in the capital city and population is what it is, you draw a lot of folks and a lot of young people. You got programs for them.
We do, yeah. We've got a lot of events that go on throughout the year. In the spring, we do a large school event called Discovery Days, where teachers can contact us and come out, and we have a big field event where we have thousands of school kids that come to the park, and we teach them education programs, get them out on the trails and enthusiastic for the outdoors. We do school visits where we'll come to the classrooms and teach kids about what they're learning in their curriculums, but with resources from their own backyards. We'll bring the kids out and have fun in the park too. In the summer, we run themed weekends and events, programs all through the weekends and weekdays, just depending on the weather, the time of year. This weekend was Feathered Flyers weekend, so we had programs and hikes all revolving around birds and migration routes, things like that. This upcoming weekend is Inspect an Insect weekend, so we'll be out there teaching about bugs and getting people connected with that special resource in the park. So, yeah, come on out anytime. You can check the website, arkansasstateparks.com, go to Pinnacle and click events, and you can see all of our upcoming activities.
You know, everybody that works at these parks is just really, really proud of the park that they work at, and there's this sense of ownership about them. If you were going to have a smackdown with, say, somebody from Devil's Den right now, what would you throw out there to say, this is why you should come to Pinnacle Mountain?
Oh, man. Well, Devil's Den is my friend.
Right.
All right, y'all are my friends up there.
Right.
But if I had to give one, it would be you're only 5 minutes from Sonic, man. Go get your hike in and go get your your nice ice cream afterwards. Or we do have Loblolly Outpost in the park, so you get off the trail and you're right at the trailhead and right at the ice cream already there. So
what kind of refreshments do you have for people to come out?
I'm sorry?
What kind of refreshments do you have?
So Loblolly Outpost is there. That Loblolly is a local creamery here in Little Rock, if you're not familiar. They, on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, have the Outpost open. They serve ice cream, smoothies, shakes, things like that. In our visitor center, we sell like crackers, chips, things of that nature.
I guess I was thinking back to when I was like 7, 8, 9 years old, and one of the things that really struck me about Pinnacle
that long ago?
Long ago, and I'm still here to talk about it. But you get up on the top of the mountain and you look down on the vultures that are circling on the thermals, and it's like, I don't know why that struck me as just being so cool, and you can still see it now. They still do that.
They do.
Yep.
But you must have come to Feathered Flyers weekend.
Well,
Knew they were vultures, not buzzards.
He's been called a vulture before.
I've been called a buzzard before.
But that is really cool. Honestly, the view at the top, again, I'm a biased source, but that view at the top is hard to beat, especially in the Little Rock area, central Arkansas, down in the River Valley.
You're allowed to be biased, okay?
All right, I'll take it.
I was also thinking about like the way it was in the 80s versus now, and the way that the trail network out there has been so developed, and there's so many more good accesses where you can park, fairly safe ones where you can leave your vehicles and take a day out and explore that park. Talk a little bit about how that's been developed and what's on tap for the future.
Yeah, so in 2021, we built a network of trail systems in the park called the Monument Trails. The Parks Foundation, all of that, they help produce these trails, and it's for multi-use hiking and biking, and the Monument Trails specifically are set apart from our regular trails as being exceptional quality and take you to scenic areas. So we had a huge network. We've got 17 miles and some change of Monument Trail in the park, so all that's within the past 5 years. Our newest trail, Lichen Link and Owl Pass, there's 2 trails. They're connecting the new visitor center to that trail system on the eastern mountains in the park. And not only are they monument trails, but they're also accessible. So Arkansas State Parks just started a track chair program, and we have a mobilized wheelchair that's on tracks that you can actually do those trails on, and it's a way for us to try and make the outdoors more accessible to visitors that need that.
We have a lot of birders in central Arkansas. What, if you're looking to add to your life list, what can you expect to see out there that's a little bit unusual?
Oh, man. Well, one of my favorite birds in Arkansas, we have a trail named after the kingfisher.
Kingfisher, yeah.
Beautiful. I saw one yesterday. Right now I'm seeing a lot of vireo in the park, some gnat catchers. We do have a healthy population of great blue heron along our waterways in the park, so that's a pretty one. Green herons, and then, of course, we're on the migration route, part of the Great Flyway, so we get to see all those unique species that are just traveling through as well.
All right, what hours is the park open?
6:30 a.m. is when the park opens, and it closes 1 hour after the official sunset time every day.
Great place to bring families out for picnics and just to hang around and put a blanket out on the ground and watch your kids run around and play, throw frisbees. Sometimes even a good place to fly a kite.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got 2 playgrounds in the park. Of course, we have the visitor center as well. We have paved trails in the park, the Arboretum and the Kingfisher, great for strollers, young kids, things like that. We really do have something for every age.
What would you say your average visitation is per year there?
Oh, in the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact number off the top of my head. But.
How many folks work out there with you?
So there's 3 interpreters on our team.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 law enforcement officers. We've got the superintendent, assistant superintendent, 6 or 7 maintenance crew, our front desk staff. There's 3 or 4 of them as well. So all total, maybe 17, 18.
I'll tell you, for as many feet pound that place per year, what you're talking about, and to keep it up as pretty as you all do and to keep it as well manicured, do a great job.
Thank you from the whole team, because it's a group effort. I've got to give my whole team the full credit for that. So
And
thank
Files,
you.
what a pleasure to have you in the studio with us tonight. And you folks go to ArkansasStateParks.com and check out the places. I'm not sure who we'll have next week. We'll have somebody rest of the year. Congratulations to you. You keep up the enthusiasm, young man.
Thank you. Come out and visit anytime.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk some trout fishing when we come back.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Folks, a lot of us are familiar with consistent pain. I've got it middle of my back, right side. It bothers me always about 2 miles into any walk or run. And if you're like me and you've got that consistent pain in your joints and your muscles, it's time to do something about it. Hey everybody, Josh Neighbors here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They've got cellular level treatments that help your body heal itself. And you don't have to add extra meds to the pill box. You don't have to go under the knife for surgery and worry about that either. These are treatments that are helping people just like you get rid of pain just like yours. Real results that let you move easier and live better. And it costs nothing for a second opinion. You get the luxury of having a licensed medical provider go over your X-ray or MRI results and see if you're a good fit for these groundbreaking treatments. Call QC Kinetics today at 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you.
Brought to you by the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Rick Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors here at 103.7 The Buzz. We're here on Monday nights, 7 to 8 o'clock, 9 months out of the year, 8 to 9 during the basketball season, I might add. Time now to talk to Neil at Saracen Casino Resort. Neil, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty good. The home run derby just started. First batter just finished, and that one's already going. And we got 2 WNBA games tonight. And a lot of people are paying attention to this NBA Summer League. Got a lot of action on that. But this is kind of like what they call the U.S. sports desert. This is the slowest day in U.S.-facing sporting events of the year, being that Major League Baseball is on the All-Star break. This week's still a pretty big week. You got the British Open starting, and you got UFC later on this weekend, which is another big one. And of course, with SEC Media Days and a lot from the Buzz, Randy and Baz with the Buzz down there in Atlanta. Bet Saracen sponsoring that too. So I think we're all licking our chops and getting ready for football season.
I got to ask you this: do you get more play on WNBA when Caitlin Clark's playing?
Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt. When Caitlin Clark is on the court, there is a lot of interest around her, and that's a big catalyst. And also Angel Reese. You know, a lot of people pay attention to Angel Reese for better or worse because of her props. Whether or not how many rebounds and how many points she scores, there seems to be entertainment value around that one also.
All right, Neil, when we get out here, we're going to go watch Home Run Derby, so we appreciate you very much.
All righty, everybody take care, and good luck on all your parlays, and make sure you check out the promo page for all of our promos, and when you download the app, if you're a new customer, make sure you use the code WELCOME. You make your first $25 bet, and we'll give you $125 in free play. That could come in handy in the next couple of weeks with football season and all the futures.
Download the app, betsaracen.com. Neil, you have a great evening.
You too.
He's quicker than I am. Try to keep that from happening. All right.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we are bringing into the studio our guest, John Bracey, who's the president of the Little Red River chapter of Trout Unlimited, and man, it's one of the great trout fisheries in the world. Welcome to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, John Bracey.
Thanks for having me, Ray.
So tell us about the Little Red River chapter of Trout Unlimited, and how does how does it fit into the overall state chapter?
Yeah, it's a great question. So Trout Unlimited is a national conservation organization that's kind of subdivided into chapters. So our chapter is responsible for Central Arkansas and the Little Red River there in Heber Springs, below Greer Ferry Dam. There are also other chapters, so there's chapters in Northwest Arkansas that kind of assist with conservation management of the trout waters below the Beaver Dam, and then obviously in North Central Arkansas, Mountain Home area with the White River and North Fork River, there are those chapters up there as well. But our responsibility is for the Little Red River, which I think is a super unique fishery because of its wild brown trout population. So it's the only river in the state of Arkansas that has a truly wild reproducing brown trout population. There's obviously great brown trout fishing on other rivers, but those are all supplemented with stocking, where on the Little Red River in Heber Springs and Pangburn area, all of the trout reproduce there in the river and have ever since Dave Whitlock and others from the Arkansas Fly Fishers planted eggs back in the late 1970s and early 80s.
You know, I'm guilty of this too, John. You know, that a lot of us down in this part of the country will drive past the Little Red to go up to some of the waters you were talking about, to the North Fork and to the White, the Bull Shoals tailwaters. And yet, in doing that, we pass over one of the great recreational, great fishing resources really in the world. Tell us about that. What makes it so special? You talked about the wild brown trout and everything, but, I mean, there was a world record that came out of there, you know?
Red River, it's truly unique. Again, starting with Dave Whitlock and others, when they were able to establish the wild brown trout fishery that's really never been supplemented with stocking. So I think that's one big attraction, is that the trout are wild. Now, wild trout are hard to catch. You know, they haven't survived in the world reproducing this long by being gullible. So they're harder to catch, I think, than some of those big trout on the White River and the North Fork River. So you got to be kind of in it for the difficulty of the game. You got to be willing to kind of commit to the cost to go to the Little Red River. But, we still get a lot of visitors. It's very close to Central Arkansas. A lot of visitors from the Northeast Arkansas and Memphis, Tennessee area as well. So it still gets a lot of action. I strongly recommend anybody in the Central Arkansas area go check it out. It's an amazing place. It's a great fishery at all water levels, which I think is a little bit unique. It's a great river to walk and wade in lower water, which is a little different than, say, the White River. Not that you can't wade it, but it's such a large river, it's a little overwhelming. The Little Red is perfect for the wade fishermen, but it also fishes great at those other water levels. This year we've had lots and lots of rain, so water's a little higher, but if you can get out in a boat, fishing can be excellent.
One of the things I've been doing a deep dive the last few months into the entomology of the rivers, especially the White, and it's really kind of the thing that makes trout fishing so interesting. The more you get into it, you start studying these insect hatches and just the the evolution of an insect hatch from morning to evening. And I'm sure that the Little Red's got some unique ones of its own. If you would tell us a little bit about that, and how does that factor into the way you approach it when you fish it?
That's a great question. I think it's so interesting, too, that these rivers are extraordinarily young, right? These dams were built and the cold water fisheries established. And so the hatches that we're seeing on the rivers here in Arkansas are kind of in the early phases of their, evolution, so to say. So now up in the White River, we see these big prolific caddis and sulfur hatches that 10 or 15 years ago didn't really exist and really have exploded over the past 5 years. So the Little Red is different. They do have a very similar caddis hatch that we see. It maybe happens a little bit earlier than the caddis hatch we see on the White River. So we're thinking end of March into early to mid-April, we start seeing caddis, and then we get the big kind of Mother's Day caddis hatch. But we do have caddis that kind of continue to pop off, not in as high of numbers, but continue to pop off in lower numbers all the way up into early summer. And, really the rainbow trout in particular really key in on the caddis or on the hatch. And people don't think of the Little Red River as a dry fly fishery, but you certainly have opportunities for dry fly fishing during that time of the year. There's a great March brown hatch. We kind of see varying numbers of the March browns from year to year, but it's probably the first big spring hatch, and it's very cool because it's a large insect. It hatches off and is about a size 12, so pretty big bug. It certainly hatches off in enough numbers to get fish looking for the nymphs. I think if you really searched, you probably could find some fish looking for the dry flies too. In the summer, we kind of have a mixed bag of mayfly hatches. We do see some sulfurs. We don't see them in the huge numbers or the mega hatch numbers that you see up in the White, but we do see sulfurs hatch. And then all year long, we have midge hatches. I mean, I've fished dry flies during midge hatches, really small stuff. It can be very technical, very fun if you enjoy that sort of thing, though, all summer and even in the winter. And then the last one we have that I think can be really good if you hit it on the right day is a blue-wing olive hatch. So we have blue-wing olives that hatch in the spring, but then really we have a good blue-wing olive hatch kind of in that early fall. Can be usually September, October, even into November, depending on the weather. If you get a cloudy day, expect those little olive bodies with blue wings to start showing up, and the rainbow trout in particular definitely key in on them, and that can be some of the best dry fly fishing. You just got to hit it on the right day, though.
In the 90s, the sow bug was the big thing on the Little Red, and you don't hear too much about that anymore, or is it just me that doesn't hear too much about it anymore?
Well, I think the sow bug has its ups and downs, and so I think it was very prolific. And when I first started fly fishing in the early 2000s, if you flipped a rock on the Little Red River, it was, covered in sow bugs. I think that the population of sow bugs decreased some, and it's probably multifactorial. I'm not sure that anybody knows exactly why. Some people think when the rivers got that Didymo, that kind of rock snot slime stuff, that it may have impacted the numbers. I'm like you, I love the bugs. I love to flip rocks. It's interesting, in the past couple of years, I'm starting to see more and more sow bugs under the rocks again. Not quite at the prolific numbers that we used to have, but they're definitely a player. They're under pretty much any rock that you flip over, although not quite the numbers they used to be. We also have more scuds now than I remember 20 years ago. Scuds, I always think of them as a miniature shrimp, and the sow bugs are like underwater roly-poly. So both of those are big players, and certainly patterns to have in your fly box, because they're in the water 365 days a year. Winter, summer, high water, low water, those are good fly patterns to have.
All right, we're talking to John Bracey with the Little Red River chapter of Trouts Unlimited. Greg Patterson will join us after this break. Back in a moment.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check for your wallet first, before hitting the drive-thru.
$6. Sorry, forgot my wallet. I have change, though. Here's 40 cents, another 40. Ooh, a bicentennial.
What's that?
Oh, gosh.
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health, too, with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Give the gift that keeps on giving. And I don't mean the Jelly of the Month Club. Hey guys, this is Dee Dee from Ava Bella Day Spa, and we're celebrating Christmas in July. 'Tis the season for membership pricing. You can get a $98 massage for $85. Plus, additional stocking stuffers like a VIP roll at Rock and Roll Sushi. Stop by Ava Bella Day Spa at 301 North Shackelford Road, Suite C3, or avabelladayspa.com. Merry Christmas in July.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
We're coming to you live from our Honda North Little Rock studios here at 103.7 The Buzz. Ray Tucker along with Brian Hendricks. Earlier, we visited with Sam Files from Pinnacle State Park. We're going to visit about state parks for till the end of the year, feature a state park. With us now, John Bracey. Greg Patterson joins us now. Greg's a longtime friend of mine, and Brian's worked for the Game and Fish. And got to ask you, Greg, what are you doing these days?
I'm
listening to John Bracey give one of the greatest tutorials on fly fishing on the Little Red River. That was really interesting and fascinating at the same time. I'm up here in Heber Springs. You know,
I didn't know that.
It's God's country up here, as you well know, and spent a lot of time during my game and fish career and the other times up in this area. So I'm back up here again working with the Trout Unlimited chapter and just really enjoying it.
You know, whenever Greg Patterson's one of the great promoters of the Little Red River, and any time there is a giant trout caught up there, somehow you're in the middle of it. I think it was.
You know, I wish though that giant trout was at the end of my line because I don't catch fish real well. Dwayne Hayes, a good friend of all of us, just kind of chuckles when I go fishing with him. But yeah, I managed to be around those who are catching giant trout.
If you will, because you were there, you documented that for posterity. You wrote the story. You are the historian of the Rip Collins fish, really. You and Steve Wright. If you will, briefly run us back through that experience, because it was truly, I mean, it set the fishing world on its ear.
Well, it did, and it put the Little Red River on the map, and it's been on the map ever since as anglers from all the different states and different countries come in here to fish the Little Red River, and they should. It's a great river. Rip Collins, the short version is, I got a phone call on a Mother's Day weekend back in the early 90s. It was my friend Rip Collins, and he said, Greg, I do believe I've got a line class world record brown trout here. And we talked about it a little bit, and I made arrangements to come up and meet him after church on Mother's Day. And lo and behold, when I saw that fish, I said, Rip, you don't have a line class world record. You've got the world record. And, everything went from there, as that was a 40-pound, 4-ounce fish that we got the help of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service guys at the hatchery. They brought their truck over with the cold water in it. We rolled into the Heber Springs post office, which was relatively new at the time, and carried that fish in because I knew postal scales would be official scales. And the folks in line there for their morning mail parted like the Red Sea. And that fish went up on the scale. And you know how those scales, the numbers will move and move and move, and then all of a sudden they settle. And when they settled on 40.4, there's a world record fish right there. I was able to certify that as a game and fish employee at the time. And Tom Bly, who was the assistant district fisheries biologist, his father, unbeknownst to me, was the head of the post office up there at the time. And I actually didn't find that out until later, watching somebody was there with a phone and videotaped that thing back in the early days. So I got to see that as well.
I'll tell you this, Greg, that was one ugly fish. unless you caught it.
When they get up to that size, they just get uglier and more ornery. And so, yeah, you're right about that for sure.
So did you get a rate on how much it would cost to send that at the post office first class to the IGFA?
Yeah, you know what? I did not, but nowadays things are getting a lot more expensive, but I bet you they could have shipped it anywhere alive.
So you were also there, I guess, last year when you and Dwayne were fishing, and somebody caught a great big, this young lady caught a great big brook trout up there, as I recall.
Yeah, it was a young girl at a Hendrix College, plays on the Hendrix College basketball team, I believe it's a point guard, and I fished next to her and her boyfriend, and they were catching some nice fish and whatnot. And I was, a good, fair distance from them. But at the same time, I could see they were catching fish. And then all of a sudden, Dwayne came up and she had a fish on, and I'd moved upstream a little more towards the dam, and he hollered at me to come down. And lo and behold, she had this beautiful brook trout. and it was a sinister-looking fish. The teeth on it were unbelievable. In fact, I had Dwayne do a mount for me replica of that fish, and when I got it, I said, Dwayne, you need to come down here and fix this dadgum fish. He said, well, what's wrong with it, Greg? And I said, well, remember those nasty teeth that were in that brook trout? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, this one you've got here has got no teeth at all. And I said, I need you to bring some teeth down here and fix this fish. And so he has promised me he's going to do that, but right now it's a toothless brook trout. But she was so excited, and a great angler. And I believe later on her boyfriend, at some point in time, he has landed a 17-pound brown. So that's quite a couple right there. There'll be a competition for life.
We've mentioned the Little Red River chapter of Trouts Unlimited. Obviously, people can get a membership to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. When you join Trout Unlimited, and you can go up at tu.org. It's that simple. tu.org. When you go up on that website, you can join Trout Unlimited, and then National Trout Unlimited, based on where your location is, they'll assign you to a Trout Unlimited chapter. So the one that I've been assigned to, and most people in Central Arkansas get assigned to, is the Little Red River chapter. And when I moved up here, I just, as was mentioned earlier, I love promoting the Little Red River and the trout fishery. And Dr. Bracey has come on as our president and done a wonderful job so far. We've got trout in the classroom programs going on with the school up here. Both he and I have done some youth fly fishing and fishing, trout fishing and trout education stuff with kids here in cooperation with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission with their youth fishing programs. And there's all kinds of stuff going on up here. And this river is still producing big fish.
All right, let me ask you very quickly. We've had high water, White River, Little Red River, Greers Ferry Lake, and up north. What's the water situation now, and is fishing good?
Well,
they're generating about. Yeah, I'll take this one. They're generating about 12 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a little higher than we typically see this time of year, but the lake obviously holding more water than we typically see this time of year.
All right,
I think this is a pretty good scenario though, because it in the Little Red is great about this. There are windows no matter where you are on the river.
Hey, John, I got to interrupt you. We're hitting a hard break here. Hold that thought.
My bad, John. My bad. I knew where the break was coming, and I asked a question. All right, we've got special event to promote back in a moment.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where the hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
I'm Dr. Lowry Barnes. When it comes to orthopedic care, there's no place like the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health. We built this hospital just for you, with state-of-the-art surgical suites, advanced technology, and the state's largest group of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons. It's the best place in Arkansas to get you moving again. And if you need urgent orthopedic care, UAMS Ortho Now is right here for you at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health, where motion lives and service leads.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. We are visiting with Greg Patterson, John Bracey, Little Red River chapter of Trout Unlimited. Our good friends at Arkansas Fly Fishers, Ron Blum, informed us that there's a special event coming up, and we've got a guy who's in the Fly Fishing Hall of Fame going to be the guest of honor, if you want to call it that, John?
Yeah, so we have a great event coming up. It'll be Saturday, August 2nd. Tom Rosenbauer will be joining us, doing a talk in the afternoon at ASU Heber Springs from 2 to 4 p.m. He's going to give a talk about taking your trout fishing to the next level, which I think will be really exciting. And trout fishermen of all experience levels will have something to learn. You know, Tom Rosenbauer, if you can be a famous fly fisherman, he certainly is one. He is the so-called chief enthusiast of the Orvis Company. He's been a fly fishing educator for his whole career. He's written lots of books. I feel like I personally owe him because I was someone that was self-taught and learned using his books and videos and things of that nature. So I think it'll be a great time. We're also going to have a second kind of evening event where you can go to dinner with Tom Rosenbauer at Zeke and Lizzie's, a local restaurant that's fantastic. You'll be able to mix and mingle with Trout Unlimited members and other fly fishermen in the area, other outdoor enthusiasts. And Tom's going to do a question and answer session. He's kind of famous for this. He has a very popular podcast where about half of the podcast he calls the Fly Box, which is a live question and answer scenario. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If anybody's interested, they can visit our social media sites on Facebook and Instagram at Little Red River TU and get the links to purchase tickets.
And tickets, I think I read, were $40.
Yes, so the event during the day is $40, and then the dinner is $75, but that includes Zeke and Lizzie's is what I would consider a really high-end restaurant, and so it includes entree, appetizers, desserts, the whole 9 yards. in addition to the event.
So that guarantees you to catch a large brown?
I sure as heck hope so. I'm counting on it.
Jump in here, Greg.
Well, maybe we get to eat a large brown trout. Actually, we catch them and we release them back in there. But, yeah, it'll be great. I mean, Tom is Mr. Orvis, and he's traveled worldwide. You can go up on any of the social media channels, streaming channels, and watch him in action, and his videos are very informative. So it'll be a great time for sure.
Hey, Greg.
I think he's the greatest educator, modern educator in fly fishing.
Greg, I was wanting to ask you this, going back to the great big brook trout. I think that the brookie is the most beautiful of them all that we have here, but we don't have many. And they stock them. How come they don't seem to take?
It's interesting because we were up doing with the Game and Fish folks doing some shocking in Collins Creek, which is named after Rip and feeds into the Little Red just below JFK Park, and there were little small brook trout that we saw in there, but in the main river, I don't know. Brook trout are real finicky. Water temperatures have to be extremely cold. Once it gets above, into the low 60s and you cross out of the 50s, they're spookier and less able to adapt as well as the browns have in the rainbow. So they did some stocking. I talked to them about it, and they have done some stocking, but they are no longer stocking brook trout up there.
All right, here's
Yeah, I think it's the water temperatures. They really like that very cold water.
All right, here's the question to get everybody throwing punches. I'm a Riley Rod Crafters guy. What do you guys like to throw or cast?
John, go ahead.
I'm Orvis through and through. So as I said, I was self-taught. I consider Tom Rosenbauer probably to be my biggest mentor in fly fishing. He taught me through the Guide to Fly Fishing, which is his kind of one of his premier books, as well as the Orvis Learning Center, which is a free educational tool they have online that can teach you everything from tying knots to casting to tying flies. And I've been I'm sitting in my office here, and I can't tell you how many Orvis products I'm staring at, but it's a lot.
That sounded like a laugh of derision from Greg Patterson.
Well, no, not a laugh of derision at all. I just thought about it, and I thought, geez, I don't have a particular brand that I'm associated with in any way, shape, or form. If I just have a rod in my hand, and I can fish, regardless of whether it's a fly rod or whether it's a bait casting rod, which I'm really not that good with, or a spinning rod, and I'm throwing Rapalas or whatever. I'm happy. So whatever rod, fishing rod I've got, I'm good to go with that.
John Bracey, Greg Patterson, appreciate you guys very, very much. We're out of time here. Again, your event date was August the 2nd. Tickets are $40. What website again?
You can go to our social media, our Facebook or Instagram, and the handle is Little Red River TU. Or you can email me at littleredrivertu@gmail.com.
All right, gentlemen, y'all have a great week. Special thanks to Sam Files from Pinnacle State Park joining us tonight. And you folks have a great week, and we'll catch you again next Monday night, 7 o'clock, right here at 103.7 The Buzz.
Thank you so much.